Boards of Trade and Chambers of Commerce, and Kevin Rowland is here. Kevin, yes. Kevin's new. He's with the Whitby Chamber of Commerce, and he's been around there for about 10 minutes, and I just met him today. So when I speak of Boards of Trade, you have me and Kevin to think of. We're membership-based organizations as opposed to government-funded organizations. I was home, I think on a Saturday or something, and said, "Oh, it's nice for you having a government job. You don't have to work on the weekends." I said, "I don't have a government job. It's membership-based. We work with our communities and our municipal governments, but we're not a government organization." Our overarching objective is to help businesses grow and thrive through either the benefits that we offer, like networking, special rates for group insurance, home and auto, or cost saving for Visa and MasterCard processing, education and professional development seminars, or for the advocacy that we do on their behalf. The extension of Highway 407, transportation infrastructure, or minimum wage guidelines, to name but a few. I have been peripherally involved with diversity since crossing paths with Ms. Andrews here, and I don't even know why we cross paths. But anyway, it has led me to this day, from whom I have gained tremendous knowledge and insight into something that's become and is becoming an important aspect of the communities in which I work and live. Part of the job of a board or chamber is to reflect the diversity of the business community in our membership, and more that diversity is becoming more than just age, gender, and business sector. Ajax Pickering Board of Trade represents 600 plus businesses and approximately 10,000 employees, and are the most culturally diverse communities in Durham. And if the board is going to grow and thrive, we need to understand the impact of that diversity. My members' customers are seniors, they're women, they're young people, they are, I'll say, disabled folks that need to have special accommodations made. And it's to their advantage to know how best to serve that clientele. My members' customers are from around the world, and they seek products and services that may or may not be new or plentiful in the Ajax Pickering area. It's to everyone's advantage to understand those needs and to meet them. It drives business growth, it drives local shopping, and it ultimately creates an economically viable community. On the other side, boards of trade need to engage business owners that come from around the world and encourage them to join the boards, meet the existing business owners, and weave everyone together. This will create new partnerships, access to new markets, both foreign and domestic. I currently sit on a task force, as Audrey mentioned, struck by the Canadian Chamber of Commerce to determine best practices for engaging ethnic chambers or business groups. Being membership-based as well, there are those of us who would consider these groups to be competitors, vying for precious dollars in a climate where there aren't really enough dollars to go around. While sometimes that's true, things aren't always what they appear to be. We've had several meetings lately, this best practices group I'm with, by conference call, with feedback from the London and Winnipeg Chambers of Commerce, who actually embraced these opportunities when they came to light in their areas, and with excellent results. Jerry McCartney from the London Chamber, who does my job there, was approached 3 years ago by a Hispanic business group that had declared they were starting their own chamber. Jerry initiated a conversation that resulted in the creation of a mini chamber of commerce, a committee within the London Chamber. They helped create a mandate for this group and formed HBOC, Hispanic Business Opportunities Committee, with a view to disbanding the committee within 3 years after integration into the local business community. London Chamber held seminars on local business basics, on who to contact at the municipality, what were the other connections within the community that they could draw on. I think sometimes my counterparts had looked upon these business groups or ethnic chambers as being up, ready to go, and just a strong force to be reckoned with, and it wasn't really always the case. It was, they were just struggling to do business, and they were more familiar with their own group, so that's what they did. So this is what they found in London. So new businesses were created, and the London Chamber acquired new members, and the group ultimately fragmented because they were eventually just joined the regular members, the group as a whole. London Chamber has created GBOC, Global Business Opportunities Council, with 35 people, including the mayor, representing strategic geographic missions to Asia, Latin America, and Brazil, with a view to creating new markets for exporters and to try to attract foreign direct investment into London. In addition to GBOC and HBOC, ABOC, China, Korea, and Japan, and BBOC, it sounds like a shoe or something, doesn't it? That was Brazil, were created with similar mandates. Pseudo-public-private partnerships were created abroad by utilizing local resources to tap into other markets. $18 billion investment in Canada from Brazil sees $12 billion of it within 50K of London. Trade Minister Ed Fast has been in London 3 times and has been very impressed with their Global Business Opportunities Council initiatives. He loves the program and refers to it as leading edge. They're currently planning 2 more trade missions, one to Brazil and a return trip to see their partners in China. More than 20 Hispanic business leaders have joined their chamber because of the GBOC initiative, and they also have an MOU signed with King's University College at Western to deliver the Global Business Opportunities Ambassador Program. 2 Chinese students from King's were embedded with the chamber for 4 months to survey their business community to find out who's doing what and who wants to do business in China. Following the survey, 5 more students will then be embedded with local London firms for up to 5 months to help them break down language and cultural barriers and better connect them with their family business counterparts in China. Another good news story coming out of this, a medical device group in China developed a camera in a pill that diagnoses illnesses by swallowing it. Isn't that's a little bit like whoever it was that shrunk down and got, and looked around your pancreas or something. The first foothold in Canada is in London. Dave Angus from the Winnipeg Chamber, also my counterpart there, formed the Council of Chambers, which has, among others, Aboriginal, Filipino, Indo-Canadian, and Chinese chambers. Dave's looking to increase cultural diversity within his chamber and leverage the significant growth they're currently experiencing. He recognizes the value in gaining a greater understanding of other cultures and working at community integration with a view to collaboration rather than competition. In addition to trade and investment opportunities, the Winnipeg Chamber feels these alliances strengthen the chamber brand. While ethnic chambers are looking for their own leadership, they recognize that being part of the chamber movement and the larger business community increases their credibility. Bottom line from Dave, each group has its own objective, and the Council of Chambers meets quarterly to address that. Don't hurry the process, but let the relationship play out and establish trust, since these groups want to ensure a presence for their community. Yes, I wrote myself a little handwritten note here, and I don't really remember what it was for, so I'll just go away over that. Business is keeping an eye on the expression of interest model, soon to be released by CIC. This is basically an opportunity for business owners to play a large role in immigrant selection. Employers experiencing a skills shortage may be able to access a pool of internationally qualified professionals. This could change the landscape of who lives in Durham and, by extension, who comes to access services provided by the people in this room. We learned more in the video about how complex workplaces can be. Workforce and talent pool is diminishing. Operations are increasingly global in nature, especially as the currency of our traditionally largest trading partner declines. Local customer and supplier base is becoming increasingly culturally diverse. As a spin-off of that, employers say they don't have the skills or knowledge to engage new Canadians effectively. About a year and a half ago, through the generosity of Audrey and the region, I was able to sit in a session represented by Lionel LaRoche, who you just saw in that video, from Multicultural Business Solutions, that spoke, among other things, to cultural differences that, if not known, can have disastrous results in an unenlightened workplace. This led to an event that we hosted last spring on cultural diversity in the workplace that was presented by Lionel's partner, Caroline Yang. She's engaging and amusing, and while we were short on attendees, we were long on accolades at the completion, and plans are afoot to have her come back for a repeat performance, since more and more employers are instituting internal company mandates for social justice, community involvement, diversity, and inclusivity. At the same time, new employers are reporting deepening challenges. Newcomers are arriving in increasing numbers, and as a result, an increasing proportion of the GTA population is comprised of immigrants. Newcomers are arriving with more education and more work experience. 50% of all immigrants that arrived between 2001 and 6 came with a post-secondary degree. That's more than double the proportion of the Canadian-born population that earned a post-secondary degree, and more than the proportion of immigrants who arrived between 1996 and 2001. Not only are immigrants arriving in greater numbers and with more education, they are arriving in accelerated numbers. So much so that immigrants will account for 100% of new population growth in Canada by 2031 and 100% of the labor force growth in the next 5 years. And you have to believe that this is happening far faster in GTA than the Canadian average, since 1 of every 2 newcomers settles in the GTA. We have created, the Ajax Pickering Board of Trade has created a diversity committee, and while it's in its infancy, the team has been struck and the mandate is in the works. I look forward to being able to provide them with resources from this council, of which I am now part, that will enable them to work effectively within our membership and business community. I'll continue to work with this task force to create a document that will encourage boards and chambers to look at the business groups, ethnic or not, as potential partners as opposed to competitors. At the end of the day, business and government need to work hand in hand to achieve the outcomes we all desire: prosperous, vibrant communities. I know that some of this information might be things that you've all heard before because you live and breathe this, because this here is your world. It's not my world right now. And I'm learning more about it all the time, but I also have picked up what I've learned because I've heard it many times when I keep pointing at Audrey because she's my little guru over here. And I hear these things over and over, so I'm able to spout a few things actually too quite intelligently now and then with those numbers. And so I'm very happy to be included, for Audrey to ask me to be part of representing the business aspect in the LDIPSI, and I'm happy to be here today. So that's the end of my story.